Have you ever considered fertilizing your plants with musical notes? Yeah. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Here we go. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. Yeah, this is unusual. I don't know if people really think too much about this. I've known about it for quite some time, and that is fertilizing your plants with musical notes. Now, I use CO2. Well, it's the gases emitted from the heater. On controlled environments like greenhouses, they have CO2 generators to feed the plants. Yes, that is one fertilizer you need to feed your plants with if you have an enclosed environment for them. There's these other fertilizers that I have in my inventory for my plants that also help with their nutrition and their growth. But yet there is another one. I've never mentioned this, but I have this laptop computer extra. I keep it in the greenhouse, and during the daytime I play classical music to the plants. Now, I enjoy classical music. I really do. And apparently plants like classical music too. Why classical music? Well, let's back up a little bit. There's been several studies on the effects that music has with plants. It is found by botanists. An Indian botanist conducted several experiments in music and plant growth. He found that certain plants grew an extra 20% larger in biomass and height when they were exposed to classic music. Now, he's only one of several scientists who have done these experiments. Now, there was an experiment done with rock music, and the plants within a few weeks died because of the rock music. And there's something I suspect why. I'm just going to read this to you. A Colorado greenhouse owner experimented with several types of plants and various genres of music. She determined that plants listening to rock music deteriorated quickly and died within a couple of weeks, while the plants thrived when exposed to her music. I got this from an article written by Mary H. Dyer. She's a credentialed garden writer. A researcher. There's been a lot of research on plant growth when exposed to music. A researcher in Illinois, let me point that out and emphasize that, was skeptical that plants respond positively to music, so he engaged in a few highly controlled greenhouse experiments. Surprisingly, he found that soy and corn plants exposed to music were thicker and greener with significantly larger yields. This comes from the website gardeningnowhow.com. Interesting article here. I've known of music that and its effects on plants for years. And just because one person says we need more scientific research on this because we got to have it more controlled, and they suspect that the plants grow bigger because their attendants are nurturing them a lot more closer and better. Well, they set up loudspeakers on like tobacco fields, wheat fields, corn fields around the field, and those plants exposed to that music grew thicker and bigger and greener, while plants in other fields receiving the same kind of fertilizers did not respond as well. So I'm an advocate for playing classical music to my plants. There's been studies on all genres of music, and classical music is the closest one to the tones and high-pitched noises that stimulates the plant's growth. And there's something in nature that is in place that does that. This is a reason why rock music doesn't cut it for the plants, because it's at a different tone level, a different frequency. Classical music hits those other frequency notes, which mimic in the mornings when the sun comes up, you step outside on a quiet morning. You think it's quiet, but listen. What you hear is, as the sun comes up, you hear birds chirping. It's the frequency of the birds chirping which helps stimulate the plant growth. So we can mimic the birds chirping frequency by playing classical music which transmits on that same frequency level as birds chirping. Besides the heater putting off CO2 gases, and my collection of a variety of different other nutrients that go into the soil to help the plants with their nutritional needs and balances, classical music is another fertilizer I put in my greenhouse. I've been doing it for about a week now, and we'll see how much better the plants are doing, especially the seedlings. I've been having a real tough time with the seedlings. But we're gonna watch, we're gonna see. I'm personally convinced. I don't need a scientific study or anything else of that nature to convince me that classical music stimulates plants. I understand frequency, I understand nature on how the birds chirp when they have these certain frequencies, and the plants react to the birds chirping. And they've even found that a person demonstrating violence toward a plant, like they're going to come out a plant. I've seen this study. we talked about it in college in biology class. The plant, they had some electrodes in the plant and they were monitoring it, and it literally responded to just it must be a chemical thing, because the person's actions, the plant obviously can't see that we know of. We don't know too much about our environment we live in. We know hardly not anything about the ocean. But yeah, there's all kinds of wonderful and fascinating things that surround us. Fertilizing your plants with musical notes. So keep watching the channel. I keep coming into the greenhouse because I love it in here. I can find space, breathing room, peace, solitude, and just the ambience of being around my plants that I'm growing, and also the sense of being outside. And then having that nice soft music in the background is really helping soothing my soul, and also helping me study and concentrate when I come out here and work on another project that I'm working on currently. So worms, heater, music, fertilizers, all beneficial to a plant. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges, west-southwest of Crater Lake National Park. Please subscribe. Click that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Give us a thumbs up, like the show, and also leave a comment or a question or just an LOL at the show. And please remember to be safe and always be kind. We'll see you guys in the next episode, okay? Bye-bye now.